Hello and welcome to your favorite podcast that inspires by highlighting extraordinary women who transform their personal and professional life in remarkable ways. I am your host, Isabelle, and today I am talking with Dr. Cornelia Kawann. Cornelia Kawann is an executive at the Swiss Electricity Regulation Authority and the founder of her own brand Energy On, where she works as personal energy strategist, empowering busy female entrepreneurs to tap into their full energy. Welcome, Cornelia.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Isabel, for having me. And hi, and lots of energy to the audience.
Thank you so much for being here today. I'm super excited to have you here and share all the interesting stuff that you are doing. So let's jump in right away. I want to know, when and why did you decide to build your own business?
Okay, actually, this is a very good question. And the answer is I never really planned it. And it kind of happened because of the change in the circumstances in my life. And so really had kind of bigger problem I had to look into. And as you already mentioned, I'm an electrical engineer, and I was looking for different solutions. And after reading lots of books and personal development podcasts, listening to them, I finally found some solutions in the quantum science. And now maybe everybody will say, oh, wow, that's so boring and so scientific, has nothing to do with real life. But actually it does, right? And that was what changed so much in me, because in a way what quantum science says is that everything, also it's just energy and frequencies. And as an engineer, I know what the frequencies and what energy is. And so I started looking at the whole world from the perspective of energy. And this changed so much.
This is amazing. Can you explain? Because I love how you always have this talent to make these very scientific subjects of electrical engineering sound very simple. So can you explain to us how you would describe what is our energy, our energy body?
Okay. I love this question. It's actually a very important one. You have a phone, right? I think most of your audience have a mobile phone. And we all know that there is an electromagnetic field around your phone, right? And some who are really sensitive, they're kind of trying to protect themselves from this field. But have you ever seen this field? No. You just know because somebody told you there is a field. And sometimes, especially sensitive people, they feel it, right? But I haven't seen it, you haven't seen it, and there are probably not many people who have seen it. And it's the same thing with our body. If we go back to your biology class, maybe you're not your most favorite subject, but what we learned at biology is if we go down into our cells, then we learn that a healthy cell has between the center and the membrane minus 70 millivolts. Then it's really very healthy cell. Cancer cells only have minus 10, and then they are sick. So we are supposed to have this voltage in our cells. Otherwise, we are not operating in our best mode. On the other side, we also know that we have like this nervous system, right? We know, we kind of deal how we can work with it. But what's the nervous system? In a way, it's the communication of our brain with our organs, with our limbs, with our whole system. And how does this communication work? With millicurrents. So there are milliampere currents flowing continuously through our body, because our brain is communicating with all the cells and everything and all these, parts of us. So if you believe that there are millivolts and milliamperes in your phone, making sure it's operating and there is a field around it, why is it so difficult to understand? And it's pure, in a way, physics, that we also have an electromagnetic field around us, because we have current and voltage in us. So even if we don't see it, we have this electromagnetic field around us. And most people just don't use it. They are not even aware of it. And that's what I'm teaching, is to show people how they can manage this field. And even as a next step, if you think that we are our cells, our energy and frequencies, how they can work with that as well. And it's so much more efficient.
That makes sense. I think that absolutely makes sense. So what I was wondering is, like, you coming from the scientific electrical engineer side, and now you have discovered that, and you have created your business, your own business around that. Did you encounter any roadblocks or personal fears when you decided, I'm going to jump into this and work in that field as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. You know, the thing is, I'm still working in the energy world. It's a very male dominated world, and it's very technical driven. Like with all this thinking of Newton, you know, if you can't see it, if you can't touch it, and if you can't measure it, it just doesn't exist. You know, and then I discovered, you know, there's so much more, right? We are kind of energy. We have our personal energy. And of course, I was completely scared to go out with that at the beginning. So I was only working on myself and my family and friends of friends. And then, but then I noticed that it's working. And then I thought, you know, I just can't keep it behind. So what I, what I did is then I started posting some of these things on my LinkedIn profile, because I thought, you know, these are all engineers, or they're at least in my engineering world. So in a way, they must see the same about it as I do, right? And the funny thing is, I did this post and nothing happened. Nobody, literally nobody ever commented on it. And I thought, oh, wow, that's interesting. And then, but then I kept posting. And then after 2 months or so, then indeed something happened. And this was that HR showed up on my side and said, you know, you can't post this kind of stuff on your official personal LinkedIn profile, because, you know, there was this energy crisis at that time, and we were responsible for security of supply, or we still are. So we were kind of a little bit in the spotlight, and HR just told me, you're in the spotlight right now and you just can't show up with this other stuff as well. So I thought, ooh, so what am I going to do right now? And of course I was scared. Did I do something wrong? And then I thought, I just set up a second LinkedIn profile, right? And so now I have 2 LinkedIn profiles. And so I have my own personal energy community, and I have my electric energy community. And the fun thing is that when I met people, you know, from my electric energy LinkedIn profile community at conferences or at meetings, you know, many of them, kind of when we were at them, you know, coffee machine or whatever, they were kind of turning around. So nobody was watching. And then they were saying, I've seen your posts. And then I said, oh, wow, cool. Yeah. And why didn't you comment on them? And I said, no way, you know. And I said, you know, it's so normal. Why are you not commenting? And then they said, yeah, but keep going.
That's lovely. Yeah. This is the thing, right? Like you ventured out in a field that maybe in your business environment of electrical engineering, people would not really admit that this is something that could exist. But you have already quite a success in the field of personal energy management and being a strategist in this, and you consult people and you support people.
Yeah.
But did you have own blockages that you had fears about, like, can I really put myself out there, or you just like went with it?
Oh, yeah, I can share a really cool story with you. And actually, it didn't even happen that it happened lately. So that's what I also am saying is, there's not just one time you do a little bit of energy management and then you're done, right? If you really want to develop, then it's kind of a continuous process. And when you remove stuff like blockades and all this stuff, unfortunately, others will pop up as well. So, but at least you have the tools and you're very fast in managing it. And one thing that just happened, like, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago. And as you know, I'm having my corporate job and my personal energy business. And all of the sudden, right? And at the beginning, it was kind of so sneaking in. I didn't even realize there were kind of tons of work, got so many more emails and I had to attend so many meetings and I could only handle it like while working in the evenings and even had to work on weekends. I was assigned on an additional project and was very time consuming. And so I went with the flow. And after like I think it took me 3 months. And then like people started noticing, you never have time for anything, you need to speak with your boss or you need to say no, all these normal recommendations you get when you kind of
Yeah.
overwork, but they don't help in this situation. So, and then I said, wait a minute, and this is something most people are not aware of is everything that is in your life has something to do with you. So if they're all of a sudden, it's such a tremendous workload, it has something to do with me. So best thing, I check it out what it is. So I sat down for 2 hours and looked into it. And it was, maybe I didn't even, it didn't even take 2 hours because I found quite quickly what was the real reason behind it. And this is fears. And I saw, it was these huge fears, and it's kind of ridiculous because these fears were, in a way, what do I need to do when my business, my personal business, all of a sudden really kind of gets super successful? And then these were these fears. Do I need to leave my corporate job? Yeah. Do I need to change my whole life? Do I need to make decisions? So in order to prevent myself from making all these decisions and even kind of get in this position, I kind of pulled all this work into my life that kept me working on my business, right? It's ridiculous in a way, but in a way, I noticed most of the time we are our biggest saboteur. And if you're really honest and look behind the scene and check it out, you always see why you're doing it. And then I solved
So
it,
you were
right?
simply,
I went through it and now I'm back to normal, right? I have my routines like before and now I'm getting also more clients and so, but it's, and just one more sentence and then sorry for interrupting. And that's what I think most entrepreneurs don't see is that your business can only grow to that extent of your personal energy or your personal development. Your limiting beliefs, your fears, your thoughts are setting the boundaries of your business. There's no separation. And if you have limiting beliefs about yourself, they are limiting also your business.
beautifully said. That would have been my next question exactly, because so we understand now we have to go through our fears, right? We cannot just put them aside or ignore them. And also that there is a big connection between whatever blocks us is also represented in what blocks us in the outer world. So in our career or in our lives and relationships with other people. So what would you say, like, is the critical success factor, or how do you bring this together so that you thrive in your personal life and in your business life through energy work?
I think the critical factor is taking on your responsibility for yourself and be honest and brave enough to yourself to look behind the scenes, what's really behind it. Just, another example, this is kind of also with my book, right? So I have written my book, and then there was in the last week before I publish it. And I had really already set up a publication date and a book launch date and everything. So there was kind of some pressure. And there, then in the last week before, there was a little formattation in my book to be done. So I sent it back to the formatter saying, can you adjust that? And then the next day was supposed to be uploaded on Amazon. I didn't hear back for 24 hours. So I started getting nervous. So I started kind of sending emails, trying to call. Nobody, I didn't get anybody, but after 3 days, I was kind of steaming, right? What's going on here? I want to publish my book. And I was really and there was so much pressure. And then it's the same thing, you need to step out of the situation. And that's what I realized, wait a minute, it has something to do with me. It's not the others, it's me. So what's in me that is preventing this formatter sending me back my file? And and you step back, you observe, and then you be brave and walk through your fears and look behind the scenes, what's actually behind those fears. Why are these fears in your life in the first place? And there it was the same, wow, there's so many personal stories in my book, right? I'm sharing so much about me. Of course I was scared, what are people going to say about it? And then what happens, if so many people are reading about me, and so there's no way I can get it back, right? And then I really looked into it and said, what do you really want, right? Do you want to make a difference in the life of so many other people with your book, or you want to hold back your stories, right? And so I argued and solved the whole issue. And I felt so relieved afterwards, and believe it or not, an hour later, the file was there and I could publish it.
It's amazing. Yeah. And it's like you said, like, so I cleared it and I went through my fears. Like what did you do exactly? Can you share that with us?
Yeah. In a way, for me, I'm really kind of connecting with my energy, because all the information is actually stored in your energy. And for me, if I set the intention to I set the intention that I go to that space that's the cause for the whole problem. And then I'm there, but really what's the cause? And then I can figure out what it is in the way that I ask questions, feel into it. Where is it stuck in my body? Where can I feel it in my energy body? There are different tools you can use, and not everybody uses the same. I'm kind of, for me, it's kind of, when I connect with my energy, I kind of download or get the information. What's the problem? And then I just follow these tools or this advice. But others see or feel where the problem is. Some see like dark clouds somewhere and they know, okay, there is a blockade. Or others feel like there is a tension somewhere in the body. It's more about connecting with yourself and where do I feel it or where do I see it? And then go there and work from there.
Beautiful. You have already mentioned it. You have written a book, a very extraordinary book that I had the pleasure to read. Change Your Energy, Change Your Life. So where you help people also to access their own energy bodies and to solve problems in different ways, as you just have described. What would you describe as your superpower or your passion that you want to share with the world?
I think, there are two things very popular in the world at the moment. And one of them is mindset work, and the other one is meditation. And I've done both of it, and I'm still doing it. And what I think is if you look at the mindset work, right, you have this limiting belief, and then you put a positive belief on top of it. You're kind of overwriting it. But underneath there is still this problem. So, and you never ever change why this limiting belief is in your life in the first place. And So one of my missions in a way is to really give people a sustainable approach, how they can find the root cause of a belief of why things are in their life, why fears are in their life. Yeah, that's described in the book, and solve the problem, and then all the symptoms go away with it. And on the other side, I think it's also about this meditation. Is with meditating, we are getting so much more energy and then a higher frequency. But it's very difficult to maintain this high frequency and high energy level. And there, in a way, is I'm showing people how they can keep that high energy level, right? And then that they manage their energy, like to recharge their energy or protect their energy, clean their energy, or set energetic boundaries. Because otherwise, we are always kind of falling back to this our normal state. And this is kind of these two tools I'm offering or showing them into the book. And my mission is, or my superpower is that, all or most women, they have so many obligations, with their business or jobs, with their families, kids, their aging parents, their partners, their communities. They don't even have a choice to not manage their energy. And I'm giving them the tools how they really can do it within 3 minutes. And because all these beautiful and wonderful, amazing women, they want to make an impact. They're so well needed. And it's not good that they're running out of energy. They need this energy and this power to, make an impact. And that's also what your podcast is for. And here I think this is my superpower, to show busy, impact making women how they have all the energies to live the life they want to live.
Beautiful. Absolutely. And this is actually exactly what this podcast is about. I said it in the introduction. We want to inspire women to be themselves, to uncover whatever is there in them and lives their lives in their full potential. Because as you just said, we have it all in us. It's not something new that we have to learn or something new that we have to do. It is more like uncovering what is in us and let that come to the surface and fully live it, right? That is so beautiful. With your work, you have created tools that are very easy to do, to perform. You just said it takes a couple of minutes, but obviously we also have different layers and have to go sometimes very deep, or things come up again. And you yourself have discovered this method in your life, not when you were, I guess, 15 years old or 20. So there's this moment, right, when we all just at one point in our lives start to understand there's something more we need to do or we should do. And we have the choice to either say, no, I'm numbing this. I don't want to go there. And then you just continue your life as you did before. Or you just said yourself, like, I cannot continue like this anymore. This is overwhelming for me, or this is too much, or a disease shows up, or whatever it is. So you changed your life. And with all these experiences of what you have in your hands now and what you have experienced in your life, what advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Oh, I love this question. But before I answer this question, I have a question to you. And this is, what's your superpower?
Oh, okay. So I guess it's something that I had never admit that it is a superpower to me. It was more something that I had maybe issues with, and it's my hypersensitivity. So I am somebody, I really read people. I feel what's going on, not just in my world, but in others, in my clients. I see what is happening, or I feel it. And so I can help people to find out easily what is the real problem that they should work on. Because very often I think we work on superficial symptoms and finding a solution there is not really addressing the the root cause. So I guess my superpower is that. And another superpower is that I love to bring people together. If I see that there is a match that they can inspire and through that grow, make each other grow, I think I'm good in that as well. And yeah, so that's from my side. But now I really am curious to hear what Cornelia Kawann would tell her 20-year-old self if she'd met her today.
Yeah, I definitely going to share. But I just want to tell you, it's so beautiful to see you when you speak about your superpower. You just sparkle. It's beautiful. So, but now I'm going to answer your question. And, it's quite simple, actually. And what I would say is your energy is your most valuable currency. And because as we spoke about it before, most people still value their time as so important. And but time is limited; it's only 24 hours. But our energy isn't. It's sustainable. It can be unlimited, and in a way. And I like this picture, and that what I give to my 20 years old is whatever you do, whatever you think, whatever you believe, you trade it against your personal energy. So decide wisely what you're trading your energy for.
Oh, that's interesting. You are trading it against your energy, whatever I think and whatever I believe. So what does that look like? Managing my energies, I should not have any beliefs and about it?
No, but I think it's more about when you talk to somebody, you're not only spending time with this person, you're also spending your energy with this person, right?
Exactly.
And even,
Exchange energies, right? Yeah.
there is an exchange, right? And so we are so focused on our time that we forget that we have a much more valuable currency, and this is also our energy. So in a way, I'm saying also, be wisely, where you put your focus on, which projects you want to work on, with which people you want to spend your time and your energy. What books do you want to read? So it's more because it's always kind of you're putting your energy there, right? And do you really get a return of energy from where you're putting it? And I think that I would have loved to know that before, right? This is, yeah, of course you can recharge, but in the way in traditional Chinese medicine, you're kind of born with your chi, and it says like this is your life energy, and when you kind of never recharge and you only use it, and it's like a bank account. When your bank account is empty, according to traditional Chinese medicine, it says then you die because your life energy, there's just nothing left. And here I see it the same. It's like our energy is also like a bank account. Like try to make sure that you always get enough energy back into your bank account, and you're not always giving energy or spending somewhere like crazy, and you can go into debt. But if you're there for too long, apparently your body will show you the bill, right? And so that's kind of be aware what you're using your energy for.
Beautiful, beautifully said. I like that. There's also this saying, right? Like where your attention goes, your energy flows. And again, with all this knowledge and your life experience, you should kind of never ever be depleted, but I guess that doesn't exist. I mean, you must also have stressful days or challenging times nowadays. What do you do when this happens, when you're facing stressful times? How do you catch yourself?
In stressful times, there are stressful times, but I have to admit most of the time I enjoy what I'm doing. But of course, as you're right, sometimes there are things I don't like or I have to do, or sometimes they take too long. And there I always reconnect with my body. And I think that what most people are not aware is that you can always talk with your body. Because what's stress in a way? Most of the time, most people don't even aware that they are stressed, right? Because it's kind of normal. It's this kind of level, this normal stress level we are all on. So first of all, it's always good to know, figure out. Some people need a little bit of stress to really work well. They need it. But if it's getting continuously and or, too much, then it can make you sick. And what is stress in a way doing? It's kind of producing hormones in our body. Like we have this adrenaline and cortisol, and it brings us in alarm. And sometimes it's good, but if it's over too long, it's not good at all. So you can literally talk to your body and ask it to stop producing these stress hormones. And on top of that, you can even produce serotonin. It's not that it's not external. Most people think that all these feelings and everything, something outside needs to happen that I feel happy. No, I can, just ask my body and produce serotonin. Just by saying serotonin, I'm already smiling because I think it's it's such a cool word, right? And then your body starts producing serotonin. You can communicate with your body. I just feel how it's really kind of rushing in right now. So there are so many things you can experiment and communicate with your energy, with your body, right? And with your heart. And all the solutions are in here. You just need to ask.
It makes sense. Absolutely. It's just like, what is your favorite morning self-care ritual that you'll never miss?
You want to have an honest answer?
Yes.
There is none that I do every day. Because sometimes I'm traveling, sometimes there are other things. My mornings don't always look the same. So I don't want to put too much pressure on myself for having a morning ritual. Without this ritual, I'm not working properly. No, it's completely right the way I am when I wake up and how I get started. And if I feel, oh wow, now I need to recharge my energy, or now this would be good, then I just do it. And I did at the beginning, I have to admit, at the beginning when I started, I was very strict. And I did many things because I needed to get started. But now it's more about listening into myself. What do I need right now? And this can today be this and tomorrow that. And there are some things I really try to do most of the times. But hey, if it doesn't work out, it's okay. I try not to be too hard on myself anymore. I was for a very long time, and now try to be more gentle and kind of, figure out what do I need now, right now, and not what my brain is saying, every morning you have to do this.
Yeah, being kinder with ourselves, right? And compassionate, not just with others, but with ourselves. But you said something where I would have said this is a little glimpse of maybe her daily self-care morning ritual, and that was doing things with joy, or like doing whatever you do, you should enjoy it. Is that something that is important for you?
Yeah, I think maybe it's not a cradle, it's more automatic. And I think this comes with having more energy. Because I've been there also in times when I didn't have much energy, long time ago, luckily. But what I have noticed, when we only have little energy, the thing that happens is then we are in survival mode, which means every day is kind of the same. It's gray. We only see to-do lists, chores, tasks we have to deal. So it's kind of depressing, exhausting, overwhelming. But what I noticed, with having so much more energy, life is full of opportunities. You don't see, even if there is a problem or something coming up, I know I have all the energy to handle that. And this gives you kind of this resilience, and I can make it, I can do it. And so I show up with a different spirit in a way, because even my at work, like I have a project manager, and he always comes like, yeah, we need to have a plan B. And I said, no way, we don't need to have a plan B. I put all my energy in plan A. So then I don't need plan B at all. So don't waste any energy in plan B. And we really had kind of some very long discussions. And finally,
I imagine. Yeah.
he agrees on it. And that's actually how I try to show up, right? With all my energy, I'm there, I'm present, I'm giving the best I can do in this moment. And this gives me joy. Yeah.
And that is visible, absolutely, as we can see. So, is there a quote or poem that you live after, like that is like your credo?
Yes. Wow. There is one credo that helped me a lot at the beginning when times were a little bit rougher and I was also more insecure about my energy path, because in a way now I'm kind of bringing this personal energy and this electric energy together. And there is one person I really admire, and it's Nikola Tesla. And he said, if you want to understand the universe, you need to start thinking in energy, vibrations, and frequencies. And this just describes my world.
That could have been even from you, by the way.
He was faster.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. I have one other question for you. Which project are you most passionate about right now at the moment working on that you would like to share with us? Because I know that you have so many things going on.
Yeah, but my project, or maybe it's not a project, but something that's really very, very close to my heart. This is my mastermind. And so I ran it for first time this spring. It's for 4 months. And in that mastermind, the idea is that people come with one problem or a goal they want to solve within 6 years or 6 months or a year. And how I see the world is, there is something blocking or there's some blockades, because otherwise the person would have already reached this goal. And so the 4 months mastermind is about that we solve or eliminate all the blockers on all levels, like mental, emotional, spiritual, so that the person can reach the goal. And what I really loved about it, it's working in an energy circle. It doesn't only keep you accountable, but together with this high energy, you can achieve so much more. And that's why I really love it. I'm very passionate about it.
Okay, we will share this and also how to reach you in general. It was such a pleasure, Cornelia, to have you here today on the podcast. I feel the sparkle. It just came across. Just you.
All the way, all the way.
Exactly, exactly. So thank you so much for having been here today. And is there anything else you want to share with us?
I'm just sending lots of energy to all the everybody who's listening. It's a beautiful podcast. It's so valuable, and I just admire Isabelle for everything she's doing, and that she's holding the space for all of us. And last word is, I don't know if you have noticed, but many things that worked so far are not working anymore or not so well anymore. And this is because all these energies are changing around us. And the future is all about collaboration, working together, supporting each other. And I think this is why Isabelle's podcast is so valuable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So beautiful. I don't even have to have any other ending words. Thank you so much, Cornelia, for what you just said. This is exactly how I work, how we collaborate. And so thank you very much and have a wonderful day, everybody. See you soon.